For 87 years, the Murdaugh name meant power in South Carolina. 3 generations controlled the courts, decided who got prosecuted, who walked free, until June 7th, 2021, when Alex Murdaugh called 911 screaming that someone murdered his wife and son, shot them execution style on the family estate. What investigators uncovered wasn't just a double homicide, it was decades of lies. Millions stolen from grieving families, an opioid addiction spiraling out of control, and a desperate man who killed his own family to cover it up. This is how America's most powerful legal dynasty collapsed in blood and betrayal. The dynasty. Starting in 1920, 3 generations of Murdaughs served as the 14th Judicial Circuit Solicitor, the prosecutor, for 87 consecutive years. Grandfather, father, son, an unbroken line of power over 5 counties. They decided which cases got charged, which disappeared, who went to prison, who got deals. Everyone knew the name, everyone feared it. Alex Murdaugh was born into this dynasty in 1968, raised to believe he was untouchable, and for most of his life, he was. He became a personal injury lawyer at his family's firm. Big cases, big settlements, big money. On the surface, everything looked perfect. Married to Maggie, 2 sons, Buster and Paul. Sprawling hunting estate called Moselle. But behind the facade, Alex Murdaugh was running the most elaborate con of his life. The crimes begin. For 16 years, from 2005 to 2021, Alex Murdaugh stole from his clients, systematically robbed grieving families who trusted him. The scheme was simple: represent clients in wrongful death cases, negotiate settlements, then steal the money before it reached the victims. He forged signatures, created fake bank accounts, diverted settlement checks, told clients the money was tied up. One victim was Gloria Satterfield, the Murdaugh family's housekeeper for over 20 years. In 2018, she died after falling downstairs at their home. Alex convinced her sons to sue him for wrongful death. Insurance paid out $4.3 million. The sons never saw a dime. Alex stole it all. Another victim was Hakeem Pinkney, a deaf man left quadriplegic after a car accident. Settlement came through. Alex took the money. Hakeem got nothing. Millions stolen from people who could least afford to lose it, people who trusted the Murdaugh name. But Alex wasn't stealing to get rich. He was stealing to feed an addiction. The opioid spiral. While stealing millions, Alex Murdaugh was also spiraling into opioid addiction. He later claimed he was taking 60 pills a day, oxycodone, OxyContin, whatever he could get, spending thousands of dollars a week on drugs. The addiction wasn't a secret within his circle. His law partners suspected, his family knew, but the Murdaugh name protected him, until it didn't. By 2021, the house of cards was collapsing. His law firm started asking questions about missing money, clients were demanding settlements, the walls were closing in. And then there was Paul. The boat crash. On February 24, 2019, Paul Murdaugh was drunk, driving his father's boat at night, speeding, reckless. He crashed the boat into a bridge. 6 people were thrown into the water. One of them, 19-year-old Mallory Beach, was never found alive. Witnesses said Paul was belligerent, drunk, violent. But when police arrived, the Murdaugh machinery kicked in. Alex showed up, started controlling the scene, calling in favors. Paul was charged with boating under the influence causing death, but the trial kept getting delayed. Meanwhile, Mallory Beach's family filed a civil lawsuit against Paul, against Alex, against the family, and that lawsuit meant discovery. Financial records would be subpoenaed, bank statements reviewed. The entire Murdaugh empire would be exposed. Alex couldn't let that happen. The murders. June 7th, 2021, a Monday evening, around 8:30 p.m. Alex Murdaugh's wife Maggie and son Paul were at the family's Moselle estate. Alex was there too. At 8:44 p.m., a video was recorded on Paul's phone. You can hear Alex's voice in the background. He's at the dog kennels with Maggie and Paul.
Hey, he's got a bird in his mouth!
Bubba. Damn, Bubba.
It's a guinea.
This is a chicken.
Come here, Bubba.
Come here, Cash.
Come here, Bubba.
Cash. Quit.
At 8:49 p.m., Paul's phone stops all activity. At 9:06 p.m., Alex's phone shows him leaving the property. At 10:06 p.m., Alex calls 911, hysterical, screaming that he just found his wife and son shot to death at the kennels. Maggie had been shot 5 times with a rifle. Paul had been shot twice with a shotgun, close range, execution style. Alex told investigators he wasn't there when it happened. He'd been visiting his mother, came back and found them dead. But that video from Paul's phone proved he lied. He was at the kennels minutes before they died, and suddenly investigators started asking different questions. The investigation. At first, Alex played the grieving husband and father, appeared at vigils, accepted condolences, but 3 months later, his law firm confronted him. They'd discovered he'd been stealing money, millions of dollars. For years, they forced him to resign. September 3rd, 2021. The next day, Alex called 911 again, claiming someone shot him on the side of the road. A random attack, except it wasn't random, it was staged. Alex had paid a former client to shoot him in the head. The plan was for Alex to die so his surviving son Buster could collect a $10 million life insurance payout. The shooting failed. Alex survived with a minor head wound. Now investigators were connecting dots. The stolen money, the staged shooting, the boat crash lawsuit, and the murders. Alex Murdaugh wasn't a grieving victim, he was a suspect. The trial. January 2023. Alex Murdaugh went on trial for the murders of Maggie and Paul. Prosecutors laid out their case. Alex was facing financial ruin. The boat crash lawsuit was about to expose decades of theft. His law firm was investigating. His addiction was out of control. Killing Maggie and Paul would buy him sympathy, delay the lawsuits. The evidence was damning. Cell phone data placed him at the scene, gunshot residue on his clothes, his lies about not being there, and the video from Paul's phone. At 8:44 p.m., Alex's voice was on that recording. Minutes later, Maggie and Paul were dead. He lied. To police, to his family, to the world. His defense argued he was being framed, that someone else killed them. Nobody believed it. March 2nd, 2023. After just 3 hours of deliberation, the jury returned. Guilty on all counts. The judge sentenced him to 2 consecutive life sentences without parole. Alex Murdaugh, the heir to a legal dynasty, would die in prison. The aftermath. But the story didn't end there. In November 2023, Alex pleaded guilty to 22 counts of federal financial fraud. He was sentenced to 40 years in federal prison. The Murdaugh law firm shut down. The family name, once synonymous with power, became synonymous with corruption. The estate was sold to pay back victims. Civil lawsuits continued. Gloria Satterfield's sons finally got their settlement. Hakeem Pinckney's family got compensation. Mallory Beach's family won their lawsuit. But no amount of money brings back the dead. And in May 2024, new bombshells dropped. Investigators revealed they were reviewing the deaths of Stephen Smith and Gloria Satterfield. Both cases initially ruled accidents, both involving the Murdaugh family. How many people did the Murdaughs hurt? How deep does the corruption go? We still don't know. The Murdaugh case isn't just about one man, it's about what happens when power goes unchecked. For 87 years, the Murdaugh family controlled the justice system in South Carolina's Lowcountry. They decided who got punished, who got protected. Alex Murdaugh didn't become a monster overnight. He was raised in a system that taught him he was above the law, and for most of his life, he was. Until the day he murdered his wife and son, and the carefully constructed dynasty collapsed. 2 life sentences, 40 years for fraud, a family name destroyed, and still investigators are digging. This is what justice looks like when it finally catches up. Alex Murdaugh thought he was untouchable. He was wrong.